I am Jairaj Phatak. I am a retired IAS officer, and during my career, I was 3 times municipal commissioner. Twice in the previous century at Pimpri Chinchwad from 1987 to 89, and at Navi Mumbai from 1995-96, and finally Secretary Urban Development Maharashtra in 2006-7, and Municipal Commissioner Mumbai Municipal Corporation in 2007 to 2009. Maharashtra, our western state, has the largest number of municipal corporations. And we constitute a municipal corporation only when there is a population of 3 lakhs, that is 300,000. And in spite of that, Maharashtra has 28 municipal corporations, out of which more than 10 are very close to Mumbai, that is Mumbai metropolitan region. Because unlike in Karachi or Dhaka, the neighboring areas were not absorbed in Mumbai. The original Mumbai corporation, as it was in 1957, has remained without extending the boundaries, and it is surrounded now by other municipal corporations like Thane on the northeast, Navi Mumbai on the eastern side, and first Mira Bhayandar and then Vasai Virar on the northern side. So there is no village panchayat adjoining the Mumbai Municipal Corporation. Secondly, in the morning session it was mentioned that it is the urban local bodies which generate money. They are the taxpayers, while the rural local bodies are not really that well off. So they are the subsidy consumers. So by this logic, the credit ratings of urban local bodies should be better than the state governments or even the government of India. But it doesn't happen. Only 5 to 6 urban local bodies out of 28 in Maharashtra will have credit ratings better than the state government or the government of India. Why it happens? Because the resources, even those recommended by the state finance commissions, are often not transferred to the local bodies in time. Unlike the Central Finance Commission, whose recommendations are immediately accepted and implemented, state finance commissions are often not constituted. Even if constituted, their reports are not acted upon. So one major source of urban bodies is property tax. An important reform which needs to be done is to link property tax to capital values, which Mumbai Municipal Corporation has done and Kolhapur Municipal Corporation has followed, but not others. Because once you link it to capital value, it can be linked to what we call ready reckoner rate in Western India or circle rate in Northern India. So as the property prices rise, and we know that property prices, particularly on urban fringes, rise at more than 15% per annum. Although in core it may not rise, but even there they will rise by 10% per annum. So once it is linked to the ready reckoner rate, the municipal income doesn't remain stagnant. It starts growing. But when I talk to some municipal commissioners, including Pune, he said, well, corporators means the elected councillors, are not ready to link it to the circle rate, because then it increases every year as per the inflation, and that is how it should. Another important thing which happened in Mumbai or entire Maharashtra is that octroi was a very important source of revenue. After the octroi was subsumed in the state GST, the then Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Mr. Uddhav Thackeray, who knew Mumbai working very well because his party was ruling there, assured the Mumbai Municipal Corporation that they will get an annual payment equal to octroi, last year's octroi, as the share of GST, and that will grow at 8% per annum. This meant that Mumbai Municipal Corporation's income did not remain stagnant. Gujarat, which gave a similar share or compensation to octroi, there the share doesn't grow as rapidly as the GST rate grows. So, giving enough source of income to municipal bodies is perhaps very necessary if they have to remain strong. the IIPA, Indian Institute of Public Administration, had brought out a volume on urban issues as they see in 2047. So there I had written a paper that it is very necessary to get a share of the state GST to both urban and local bodies proportional to their population, which will take care of the meeting the urban needs. Another thing which I see in the change from the previous century to the current one is the emphasis on environment. Government of India itself, when they set up the first center for training in Delhi, IIPA, they named it Center of Urban Studies. But all other centers were named Center for Urban and Environmental Studies. So RCUS at Mumbai, Lucknow and Hyderabad, they are all regional centers for urban and environmental studies. So environment as essential part of urban development was recognized, and 5 out of 17 SDGs are now on urban development. Then again, 60% of NHI's allocation now is on mass rapid transit, about 36%, and Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, about 24%. Rightly so, because as economy grows, poverty and other issues will take care of themselves. Private sector, the enhanced incomes will take care of poverty. But having enough allocation to transport and housing is the need of the day. In Maharashtra, another thing which happened was not having elections to the local bodies for the last 3-4 years. Well, a legal issue was raised that the OBC reservation is not constitutional, and Supreme Court took its own time in giving the directions to hold elections. Not having elections meant that the expenditure was not as per the priority of the local citizens and local representatives. The priorities were often decided by officers guided by a minister who was not from that city. So, I would say, when the minister is not from the city, it becomes a contractor-led development. So, local priorities, local roads and other things. So, BMC's credit rating in the last 4 years has fallen drastically. Of course, part of the reason is a large investment coastal road, which has benefited Mumbai, was carried out from Mumbai Municipal Corporation's resources. But also that some things were taken up which perhaps the elected people would not have agreed. So let us see, these are the priorities. Now in today's panel, there are planners, there are transport experts, and perhaps we can, since there was a batting order decided by the organizers, I'll request Professor Subrata Chattopadhyay, Professor Emeritus, IIT Kharagpur, to kindly give his views.
Good afternoon, and thank you very much, Chairman Sir, for giving me this opportunity. How much time are you giving me? 5 minutes. So okay, I'll try to be brief. Now, I will come straight to the point. I'm going to talk about future of urban cities in the perspective of a model, right? This is a Japanese model that I'm going to talk about in a very brief way. And what the essence of the model is saying is, it is not just important to know what we are building, but how the citizens experience. There are essentially 5 important points to the Kano model, right? The first is the basic needs. There are a set of basic needs. The second are the performance needs. The third are the delighters. Now, I'll give you an example. We can take, this model was basically developed for product specification and market research. And I am trying to juxtapose this model onto urban planning. Okay? So what are the basic needs? I will translate it to urban planning soon. But when we talk about basic, these are non-negotiable, must-have needs. We cannot have any question about these, right? These are the basic needs of a city. At the next level come the performance needs, okay? So when we check into, let's say, a hotel of a particular category, there are certain basic needs we would definitely like to have, like clean linen, clean room, clean bed, clean washroom. There could be additionally performance needs when we have a free Wi-Fi or certain other activities which add value, and I will translate all these into urban planning soon. The third level, the Kano model says, are the delighters. And these are the ones which you are not expecting. A citizen is not expecting. However, when a citizen experiences this, there is a delightment. So the second one, performance need, the value increases in a linear fashion. But when we come to delighters, where you get something out of not even expecting it, you are delighted, and that is where is the third aspect of it. Kano model says there are two more aspects that we should be careful about, and they are, the indifferent attributes. Indifferent attributes, that is, people are neither bothered, they are quite indifferent, and it could, in an urban planning, we could take the example of a very heavily structurally sound highway, which we thought that we have done an extensive research and done it. Users are interested in whether they can cross it in a proper way. So they are not even imagining that what has gone in, how much money has gone in, so they're indifferent. Neither this way nor that way. And the fifth one is more interesting. It's called the reverse attributes. The reverse attributes are the presence of those reverse attributes which were actually meant for the citizens are actually having negative effect on the citizens. I'll take an example of that. When we do over-surveillance, when we do over-tourism, the locals have a reverse attribute. Because due to over-tourism, due to over-surveillance, maybe they feel that their privacy is being hampered. So we have to understand as urban planners that what are these 5 aspects of the Kano model that can help us, take a very informed decision in our planning approach. Let's say we can forget about the statistics. We have had some session in the morning that gave us the statistics, but let's see what are the must-be attributes which a citizen would like to have. These are non-negotiable. These are clean drinking water, reliable electricity, safe, affordable housing, safe, affordable public transport, basic health, law and order. So we can agree that these are the must-be attributes. They are the, ones we cannot negotiate on. Okay? The next category, which we call the performance attributes. So the first one is we are dubbing them as a survival city. The next category of performance attributes, here we are categorizing them as the competitive cities, where the quality and speed of public transport. Here, you're comparing this city to that city, city A with city B. The quality and speed of public transport, affordable housing relative to income, access to jobs, efficiency of public service, walkability, green spaces, pollution levels, urban heat island. These attributes make a city competitive. So we have risen above the must-have attributes. We are now talking about a bunch of activities which come as, the competitive thing. So these we call the performance attributes of the competitive city. So here, when we say that we have been able to reduce your travel time by 20 minutes, it's a performance attribute. Connectivity was in the previous stage, but now we are saying we have reduced your time by 20 minutes, it's a performance, right? A city with faster approvals. I have created a system where the city has got faster approvals or in a single day, single window clearance. That is a performance attribute, okay? So these performance attributes help us in defining urban rankings, in creating smart city indices, and also in giving livability scores, okay? The third level, what we said, are the attractive attributes, okay? The attractive attributes or the delighters of the future city. Now, these attractive attributes are those which I said citizens are not expecting, but once experienced, they reshape how people imagine the city life, okay? The examples of future of cities could be AI-based personalized public service. Now, that's something which will be, attractive attribute, the delight attributes, okay? 15-minute city design, where everything is accessible locally, if you can go to that level. Digital twins for citizens' participation in planning, that could be a delight attribute. Climate positive neighborhoods, net zero or net negative, urban farming, etc. So these are not demanded, they are rather discovered, okay? They create emotional attachment, civic pride, and these are, they turn the city from a functional city, okay, functional city into an aspirational ecosystem, okay? I'll quickly finish the next two attributes, which I said are the next attribute is the indifferent attribute, or we call them the urban noise, okay? These essentially are not improving citizen satisfaction. These consume budget, but do not shape lived experience. Some examples like over-designed flyovers with no traffic impact. Smart kiosks, however, nobody is using them. Or apps that replicate existing services. So these could be the indifferent attributes, and we've got to be careful about that. And the last one is a reverse attribute, when planning is actually harming, like excessive surveillance, violating privacy, over-tourism. These are the two examples I took. So this is the essence of the Kano model. These are the 5 quadrants. We have to understand that at which stage, which city is, and accordingly prioritize. So here you can see the way forward. We have given in details what could be the way forward, what is the traditional planning, what is Kano-inspired urban planning, and what could be future of urban cities. For instance, in traditional planning, we were talking about roads, buildings, utilities, zoning. A Kano-inspired urban planning could talk about feelings of safety, because we are talking that it is not what we are building, but how people experience what we have built. So feeling of safety, ease of living, sense of belonging, amount of time saved, dignity of daily life. These could come handy in understanding what really counts. I will stop here because of paucity of time. Thank you very much for a very good listening. Thank you indeed.
Thank you, Professor Chattopadhyay. I now request another Center of Excellence, Professor Uttam Kumar Roy from IIT Roorkee, to present his views. Thank you.
Very good afternoon. First of all, thank you for inviting me and my institute for this very important session. I will talk about my basic training is on urban planning. I am an urban planner and architect. and I teach urban planning in my institute. So I'll talk my experience in a very limited 5-6 minutes, that what was our experience in connecting the practice and the theory in urban planning in the context of India, and for that what kind of planning reform in terms of developing a India specific theory, that I will talk about it. Can we have the presentation? Can we have the presentation? Organizers? So, yeah. So I just tell you what, it was very interesting to hear Professor Chattopadhyay. So our approach was little different. Like before we going to various theories, we tried to see the ground issues what we are seeing in India, and from those issues we went back to theories and we tried to understand that what theories are available and what theories are not available. If theories are not available, then prepare it, make it, validate it, and then apply again to the ground context. I'll show few examples. So mostly I will talk about two central questions in this brief discussion. One is that what are the unique fundamental principles of land use and placemaking in the Indian towns? Purushottam sir is sitting here. You know, last 20-25 years when we have studied urban planning and worked in the field of urban planning, one common topic of discussion in more or less every forum was like the success and failure of Delhi master plan, because that was the first experimentation in the country. Now, what kind of experiences we have received and what is our response as a planner and educator, that is the main thing what I will discuss under this question. Second question is that what is the message of our inherent planning practices in terms of the diversity and inclusion, which is a very unique character of India, and what it is response in the planning vocabulary or planning theory related to that. I will talk these two issues and how we are trying to implement in some other projects I will show. Our approach is little different. Instead of usually in academic practice we do literature review and then you do experimentation, but in this case when the project is related to actions, we try to see what are the contemporary practice, not only Delhi, other cities also, and theory. Then learning from the people and the local wisdom, okay? And then based on the theoretical review, that what are the theories are available in the Western countries, in India, and take a very cautious or balanced view on that. Then finally, learning from the indigenous practice. Now, indigenous practice in most of the cases, in Indian cases, these are, very less documented. It does not mean that it does not have value and wisdom. It has. Thing is that whether we are able to see it or not. For example, I will come to Delhi's case. And also, before validating, or applying further theory, we tried it in the studios, classroom, multiple years, and after it's getting validated, then we apply it to other cities. So, I just quickly talk about this particular aspect. Land use planning is one of the core, of the, kind of, it's like a skeleton of our human body for any, in modern planning. But when we do that, usually we distributed land use for a city in a multiple zones. But when you see the reality, this is the reality. This is a common, streets from Delhi. You will find that we call it as a mixed land use. You will find that shops, commercial, establishment, and residential and other uses are very mixed up. Now, Delhi is a unique example. They tried to, practice this segregated land use for a number of years, but then they regularized. It is a good lesson learning. Now, there is no norm in the Indian situation that what kind of norms and theories we should follow. So we worked on that for multiple years. We got very useful, findings. I will just straight go to the findings and come to the practice. You know all these things. I will not go into Delhi's case. Western practices are based on these four approach. I am also not going into details. Okay, if you are interested, we can discuss later. I will come to the Indian approach. This is the problem of so-called mixed land use, like or segregated land use, that it reduces the vitality or the vibrance. On the other hand, if it is a mixed land use, multiple uses are together, we might get some advantage, but there are problems also. But where to draw a line of control that, okay, this much of mixed land use is better. So that's what I will show. Because of the time restriction, I will not talk about this. This is basically difference between the that what we do in the zoning plan, classical zoning plan, and its limitations. Okay. Yeah. This I should discuss. Indian system of land use planning and the city planning is completely different than the Western approach. Number one, it is based on a we know that word transit oriented, okay, but what we have found that it is centrality oriented. Indian town planning is always convergent to some center. It may be a temple, it can be a kind of a palace or fort or nature, and multiple roads are coming, and around the road there is a development. It is completely separate than the segregated land use. Inclusion and integration, activity oriented more than the land use. Like Western taught us that this is residential, this is commercial. You see, this is a public use and this is a dining area. Even though some noise problem is there, but it is very much convenient. You just take the lunch and come back here. So it has, if we make it activity oriented, it is much better to propose some mixed use. And people centric. Here you will see in India, the name of the places, name of the streets, it is not numbered or kind of sector such and such. You will always find the name of the place something Nagar, Pur, or you take any village name, any center name, and the streets names also. So it is more personified. So these are major differences we have found out. Now what we are doing, let me show. We are working with government of Bihar, and we are working for zonal development plan for 15 zones with fantastic arrangement of multiple consultant and the very proactive government. We developed norms for the mixed land use, and we have given very interesting names. You can see, I don't know if it is visible or not, like the tonal mixed land use, composite mixed land use, and zonal. 1 minute? Yeah. So these we have developed, and now we are trying to implement in the case of Patna. I will not talk this. Just a few seconds. Instead of making very stringent gridiron pattern, we have retained the existing road, little bit reorienting, allowed as much as mixed land use based on the research, and as emerged from the discussion with the people and the government. Recently, government has notified the land pooling policy also. These are going in hand. This I will skip. Placemaking. We have categorized multiple ghats around, because in India we don't have any norms for the ghats along the river. So we are doing this. These all are adding the value in the theories and the practice. In the inclusion, you will find that where master plan does not work, after some years of master plan notification, suddenly some policy, some new acts comes, and you find that master plan does not match with that. What we have done here, we have done the reverse. We have studied all the policies and acts by the state government and the central government. These are, I am not reading. And we have accommodated the provisions of those policies and acts in the zonal plan before it is notified, so that when it is notified and implemented, it will be done. So I will be stopping here. So these are the kind of like town planning schemes and the land readjustment theories we have done, and we are doing this under this recently approved Amrut Center for Urban Planning. Hopefully that within 1 or 2 years, sir, we'll be able to share much more information which is more meaningful and impactful for our context. Thank you, sir, for the opportunity.
Thank you. So thank you, Professor Roy. I now request Mr. R. Srinivas, Secretary, Governing Council, of Institute of Urban Transport to present his views.
Thank you, Municipalika, for extended the invitation to participate in this session. I'll be speaking on ease of doing business because time is limited. Because quickly, I will mention about what Municipal Corporation of Delhi and Municipal Corporation of Mumbai, performed under the ease of doing business. Of course, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs had the mandate to coordinate with these two municipal corporation and ensure that how the entire building plan approval system can get streamlined. So, under the key reforms accomplished under the ease of doing business was, the entire building permission system was, there were 29 procedures and the 29 procedures were reduced to 8 procedures. Then average time taken for building plan approval, if you recall the pre-digital days, the plan approval system was very cumbersome with lot of documentation was to be done. So that, average time taken from 158 days, it reduced to 60 days, sanction up to the occupancy cum completion certificate. So all department concerns which were issuing the NOCs, they were, integrated seamlessly. And there was also a common application form was formulated where all the essential information pertaining to building plan was to be given. And the another important reform was achieved that requirement of affidavits were done away with, replaced by single e-undertaking, and the number of documents for building permit was reduced from 39 to 7. In fact, I think most of you are aware of this thing, and the efforts were made that web-based online calculator and payment was facilitated, and the cost associated with the construction permit reduced from 13.6 lakh rupees to 2.59 lakh rupees. And another reform, integration with external department agencies like Airport Authority of India, National Monument Authority, National Highway Authority of India, Delhi Metro, Delhi Urban Art Commission, Railways, all were seamlessly integrated, and the NOCs were issued online by these respective departments. Incorporation of risk-based classification for fast-pacing building plan approval was also ensured, and requirement of commencement certification. Commencement certificate was totally done away with, and provision to submit site photographs, thereby eliminating the requirement of on-site inspection for low-risk buildings was also ensured. Further, I think Saral scheme, I think still Akil Sahab is here, who has actually spearheaded the online building permission system in NCT Delhi. The Saral scheme, I think it is still continues, and perhaps the plot size, average plot size 105 square meter has been increased to 500 square meter. That is the wonderful thing which has been accomplished by Municipal Corporation of Delhi. And also, there was an integrated color coding zonal map for all the agencies on GIS-based color coded map for ascertaining requirement for NOCs by location has also been ensured. So with this, all the reforms, the ranking under the World Bank ease of doing business, it was 181 out of 191 countries in 2015-16, and that has been drastically improved to 27 during the year 2021-22. But after 2022-23, the report has not been, brought out by the World Bank. Now they are actually considering to, revisit the methodology for, identifying the parameters to assess the, the efficacy of online building permission system. And rightly stated by Professor Subrata Chattopadhyay in his presentation, you mentioned about the performance attributes, and the experiences of, Municipal Corporation of Delhi and Mumbai have been replicated to other states. Based on this experience, we went to every state, and we also came up with the online building permission system guidelines, which were adopted by various states. And states like Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Madhya Pradesh, these are all states, they have really implemented all these key reforms. And ultimately, it brings ease, ease to the citizens, because earlier it used to take, long time, and that too also the simplification of entire building planning approval system has been, it is now easy to understand for a common citizen. So these were all the, reforms undertaken, and hopefully World Bank will come up with the revised methodology, and I hope Akil Saab is very much, must be aware of the latest happening, and perhaps Gupta ji may kindly give the updated status on the ease of doing business, methodology as well as the report to be issued by the World Bank. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Mr. Srinivas. Now I request the next speaker, Mr. Purushottam Uttarwar, to kindly present his views.
Good afternoon, everybody. And I'm very glad to be here after listening to professors from two IITs telling about the planning. And I'm thankful to V. Sureshji. His few phone calls brought me back from Nagpur for today's event. And this all talks have brought back the memories. Being a part of Delhi Development Authority for 40 years, Delhi Development Authority is like urban lab. What first master plan we did, so I will just try to say how the planning has evolved and what is now today contemporary planning is. That's for the benefit of academics as well as the practical. Urban planning has changed fundamentally. It's no more what we learned in 70s, 80s, and even today maybe 90s and 2001. Planning evolves, cities evolve, and people evolve. So somebody is giving a concept of 45 or Jane Jacob will not stand today. The first master plan for Delhi was prepared by Ford Foundation team and TCPO. So the idea was to go away from colonial legacy. So how do you go away from colonial legacy? You adopt American way. We were very happy to have a watertight compartment between zoning, residential, commercial, and then we had a Nehru Place, Bikaji Kama Place, etc. So that resulted in more vehicles, more roads on our cities. By the time we came to the next master plan of 2001, we realized probably this is not we want. Our traditional cities are different. So we tried to introduce some kind of a mixed use, limited mixed use, some kind of commercial streets, etc. Reason was, it's not that possible for everybody to drive a car to buy a bread or butter or milk to 5 kilometers and go a convenient shopping center. So people started opening shops in their garages. There was a law and order problem, political problems, and it was regularized. And 2001 master plan, first time, saw the Indianization of master plan for Delhi. Of course, each master plan has given very good things to the city. First master plan of 1962 from Ford Foundation and TCPV gave a very robust framework of road network and the green lung spaces, the North Reach, South Reach, etc., and set for the first time in India a very systematic planning where land use standards were given, facility standards were given, and space standards were given. Each master plan consists three things: population-based standards for facilities, there is space standards, and of course the land use contemporary and contiguous plannings. Then we came to the 2021 master plan, and by that time transport network became a very, very important. Almost transportation plan became the first layer of land use plan or a master plan. Cities were expanding, roads were unable to take vehicles, and by the time the concept of 2021 master plan came out with transit-oriented development. Delhi Development Authority was the first authority in India to talk about transit-oriented development policy. And then there were various debates whether it should be corridor-based, node-based, etc. So transit-oriented development policy, what emphasizes on, you create a transit corridors Now, on 22nd, Prime Minister has inaugurated uh, Delhi to Merit Regional Rapid System. And we have been closely monitoring this development. We are closely watching this development. Being a team leader for TOD sale in Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs for Asian Development Bank project of strengthening of TOD cities, we were asking RRTS and the state of Uttar Pradesh to prepare local area plans along the RRTS influence zone, maybe 500 meter, 1 kilometer or whatever it is. So the challenge was the RRTS route crosses 2-3 cities. Each master plan is different. They say we need to have first master plan, then we can come with local area plans. Okay, the master plan come out with the order. You need not wait for a master plan. You approve local area plans, which can be subsequently included in master plan. So that kind of a dynamism has come in planning. So the first layer of any master plan or city plan is a transportation plan. As the cities are growing, the speed is amazing. The migration rate is amazing. People want better facilities. Nobody wants to stay in rural areas. No education facilities. The Generation Z, they want different kind of housing colonies. There are very less takers for DDS housing, but they prefer to go to Gurgaon and Noida. They provide them clubs, swimming pools, indoor facilities, which is probably still not working with DDS schemes.
2 minutes.
Then new invention is land pooling scheme in Delhi. First land pooling scheme has been implemented. Then local area plans has come up as a tool to immediately implement your proposals. Then town planning scheme Maharashtra and Gujarat is doing. So 3 levels of planning is there. The first is meso level, top level, where you need a master plan, basic land uses. Middle level, probably there can be a zonal plans or local area plans or whatever you call it. At bottom level, you have a very good layout plans with good building bylaws. And on top of it, you need a very good transportation system. What in 1960s, 70s, Japanese used to call synchronize the space. Probably we have come to that stage. Affordable housing, you can't buy in Delhi, you can't buy in Noida or West Noida, the flat which you used to buy for 3 years ago for 50 lakh rupees, affordable housing, now it costs 1 crore because RRTS has come, metro has come. So affordable housing will be now in merit. So this transportation is giving us a very wide opportunities to create affordable housing, working spaces, and also very good living spaces at an affordable cost and time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Uttarwar. I now request the last speaker, Mr. V.K. Gupta, to kindly present his views. He is retired chief engineer.
Good afternoon, respected chair, panelists, participants. It's a matter of great honor to be here on this esteemed platform. My previous panelists explained various theories regarding urban planning. I would like to explain actual initiatives MCD has achieved. MCD is one of the largest urban local body in India, serving nearly 2 crores of citizens across 1400 square kilometers of area. On a daily basis, we manage around 12,500 metric ton per day municipal solid waste and nearly 5,000 ton of C&D waste. MCD manages thousands of trade licenses, building plans, approvals, and property tax assessments. At this scale, urban policy and ease of doing business are operational realities and not theoretical concepts. To start with, I will explain some work done on reforms through digitalization and online approval. MCD has undertaken significant digital transformation to reduce physical interface and increase transparency. Now we have 100% online trade license application, online building plan sanction, for submission, scrutiny and approval of building plans, GIS-based property mapping, online property tax assessment, app-based grievance redressal systems. The online building plan system has reduced processing time, improved transparency and minimized delays. Ease of doing business is not merely putting old procedures online. We are focusing on time-bound approvals for trade license, building plans, defined standard operating procedures, auto-escalation mechanism in case of delay, clear accountability from headquarters to field level. Now I come to various milestones MCD has achieved in field of MSW and C&D management. We manage approximately 12,500 metric ton of municipal solid waste. Some important features of SWM in MCD are door-to-door collection across residential and commercial areas, GPS-enabled tracked vehicles, structured primary and secondary collection systems, zonal and centralized monitoring. About 7,500 ton per day MSW is processed at our 4 waste-to-energy plants at Narela, Bhavana, Okhla, Taikhand and Ghazipur. Total capacity of this plant is 80 megawatt electricity. In addition to this, MCD has decentralized biogas plants at Nagli, Ghoga and Goiladeri to process dairy waste. In addition to this, we have several decentralized compost plants converting biodegradable waste into gas and organic manure. At present, MCD has processing facilities of about 7,500 ton per day and plans to double by next year. Similarly, MCD is doing remarkable works in processing of legacy waste of 3 dump sites, Bhalaswa, Okhla and Ghazipur. Till now, we have processed about 177 lakh metric ton of legacy waste out of 203 lakh metric ton. Due to this, 65 acres of land has been reclaimed out of 202 acres of land. MCD plans to complete this legacy waste processing by December next year. MCD manages approximately 5,000 metric ton C&D waste. For processing of C&D waste, MCD has commissioned 4 plants at Buradi, Ranikheda, Shastri Park and Bakkarwala of capacity 5,000 ton per day. And one more plant at Taikhand of capacity 1,000 ton per day is going to be installed shortly. We have 125 C&D collection centers spread all over MCD where individuals can dump their malba up to 20 metric ton. If it is more than 300 metric ton in a month, then it is to be dumped at the nearest C&D plant. MCD has developed an app where generators of malba can request to lift it through impaneled transporters. Recycling plants produce aggregates and construction material which are used to manufacture pavers, CC blocks, tiles and curbstones. All these initiatives align with principles of municipal governance, sustainability and circular economy. These are some challenges. There are some challenges, as my earlier panelist also mentioned, faced by the local bodies. First is rapid urbanization, legacy infrastructure, and most important is financial constraints. To conclude, ease of doing business at city level rests on 3 fundamental pillars: transparency, predictability, and accountability. Transparency builds trust, predictability builds investment and confidence, accountability builds performance. When citizen and business know that processes are clear, timelines are defined, and responsibility is fixed, governance becomes enabling and not obstructive. Today, urban governance is no longer only about roads and drains, it is about sustainability, it is about circular economy, and it is about turning challenges into opportunities. At Municipal Corporation of Delhi, we believe in transforming kachre se kanchan, not merely managing waste, but converting it into wealth, from waste to energy plants, generating electricity to compost plants, producing organic manure, to C&D plants, creating construction materials. We are demonstrating that what was once a burden can indeed become a resource. This is the true spirit of modern municipal governance, and that is the future of our cities. Thank you very much.
So thank you very much. Now there is a time for chaired panel discussions for about 10 to 15 minutes, where if the panelists want to discuss on any sensitive issue, they can. And also, if the audience wants to ask any question addressed to any particular panelist, they are welcome. Only let it be a question. Let it not be a contradictory comment. If it is a contradictory comment, kindly discuss with the panelist over the cup of coffee or tea. Thank you very much. So if there are questions, please ask. Yeah, please, sir.
Very interesting presentation after both the professors have given what should be the classical way of theory and practical issues of how mixed use has been really brought in has really gave good dimension on that. My questions are two. On the ease of doing business, Srini, would you be able to tell why is it that it's not percolating in other, namely to do in limited time online processing? But I think you said online processing already instead of all the files are 5 kilos and 60 kilos of drawings, now all can be done through a small little online, on the, you do that. Approval from other departments, especially multi-fire department, various clearances is what is taking, going from pillar to post. Is it improved now, really? Because you said after 2021-22, the World Bank report for ease of doing business, they stopped. Otherwise, India came up very well.
Yes.
From a very low level to high level, but later on they have not done it. Has the thrust been there on that, if you can tell? Well, that's question to you. Question is one to Purushottam sir. I'm glad you told about the TOD, sir. Why is it that the transit-oriented development rules is not catching up the way it should have caught? Is it because it is linked also to development control rules of the building of the local body? Because TOD, when you do that, the existing development control rules of the state is already there with respect to, they will not see whether the railway line is going or a metro line is going. So if you can both give a reply, direct questions.
Yeah, Sir, I mean, there is no doubt things definitely has improved. Not only in the Mumbai and Delhi, but you take the case of, in fact, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, both states, they did prior to the, introduction of OBPS in, Delhi and Mumbai. And in fact, both the states, fared first and second rank in the Indian ease of doing business. As far as, the status of, the latest, I think World Bank is revisiting the methodology. Perhaps Akhil Ahmed could throw light on that, because he has been dealing, right from the beginning, he has been dealing with the ease of doing business. So the latest status, I think, are they revising the methodology perhaps?
Sir, in place of ease of doing business, they have brought a new indicator named as Be Ready. The full form is Business Ready.
Business ready, yeah.
That has already been started, and now it is applicable for 55 economies of the world. This year, it is likely to be introduced in India as well.
But sir, let me tell you, the parameters which were identified under the ease of doing business for construction purpose, actually it instilled competitiveness among the cities. That's what, but I don't know how it will, whether it will be case studies will be identified as we had identified Mumbai and Delhi. But in this regard, any cities will be taken?
Sir, this has been replicated in many cities.
Ajay, this is being done, but again we'll be very curiously waiting for the results, what actually is happening on the ground. But I think there are certain states, they are making their full effort, like Bihar. I think they have also tried to integrate all the urban local bodies in the single platform.
Is it because the urban local bodies, which are large in number, 4,000, except big municipal corporation, you mentioned Delhi, they don't have the capability to look through the plans on a laptop when all this
sir,
online?
For million plus cities, it's not a big problem. But again, sir, the entire building plan approval process, it also varies from state to state. For example, Uttar Pradesh, most of the development authorities are giving the plan approvals.
Okay.
No, it is not the urban local bodies.
Okay.
Urban local bodies basically, maintaining the
Okay,
services.
thank you.
And even if you talk about the Tamil Nadu, that there also
So
multiplicity of
capability and
agencies are there.
capacity building among the local
Yes,
bodies
sir.
equally important to electronically read the plans and give judgmental views, yes, no, or whatever.
Sir, Akil Ahmed was responsible for conducting n number of capacity building programs.
Okay.
He has been instrumental, and Sanjay Nirmal from Mumbai Municipal Corporation, and we know that in 4 years' time, I think we had 30 plus capacity building
Sir,
programs.
sir, since 2016, we haven't accepted even a single hard document.
Hard copies. Sir.
Okay, very good. Good news.
That's
That
a
is
key
Bombay.
reform.
That is Bombay.
That's a key reform, sir.
Yeah, thank you. TOD and DCR.
Hello. Hello. I'm glad you asked that question. That's something cities can be compared with Indian families. Families don't change very fast. A grandson calls butter chicken on Zomato. Grandfather is sleeping. When he gets up and see the packet, he gets very annoyed. So that is happening with cities also. Our bylaws, rules and plans are a little static, and changes are very fast. But I am very happy Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs has caught up with this issue, and they have brought a lot many schemes like Amrit, then Saski and Urban Challenge Fund. And most important thing is transit-oriented policy. National transit-oriented policy is guiding all states to create a transit-oriented development policies. Reason is the growth of urban cities are unimaginable. The migration is unimaginable, and traditional way of our town planning will not be able to cope with that speed. So for that, transit-oriented development policies with special development control rules. Now FAR is almost, control is removed.
So you use the word right. Special development control rules
Yes.
for that area.
That area.
Not the
That
normal
area.
one.
Not
Okay.
normal.
That's the
Yeah.
key.
So we keep a balance on both the things. Thank you. Thank you.
Anybody else from the audience? Any questions? Yeah. Yes, madam.
Thank you for the very informative sessions. So 2 questions. The first is how strongly does non-motorized transport, which means making cities walkable, feature in any of our planning? And anybody can take that this thing. The second question I had was, where in our urban planning do you feel air and water pollution lie? Or rather, where does this whole issue get resolved, or how does this get resolved? Thank you, sir.
So first question on non-motorized transport. You would like to ask?
I'm glad you asked that question when you talk about policy level little things. Non-motorized transport and multimodal integration has been taken up in a very big way, and especially the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs is providing incentives for this this kind of NMT and MMI. If you now look at metro policy prepared by ministry, it is inbuilt part of metro policy, the NMT and the MMI. What is happening, metro is generally carrying a long distance passengers. So for short distance passengers, non-motorized vehicle transport is very important. And of course, various ministries are having policies for that. Does that answer your question? Okay.
The other question on air and water pollution in planning. Anybody would answer?
For minimizing air pollution, ULB like MCDs taking various steps like MRSM cleaning, anti-smoke guns, sprinkling of water, and paving of kacha portions of roads and repair of roads. And these are continuous process, and we have make it mandatory to cover all building materials covered, and providing blue sheets at construction sites. All these steps are being taken by MCD.
Now, do the panelists have any comments on each other comment presentation? Yeah.
Yeah, related to question related to NMT, ma'am. From our experience, what we have seen, we have policies on NMT, but at the planning level, there are like gaps. Gaps like we have very limited, norms in terms of the how it is integrated with the metro rails and the last mile connectivity. That is a missing link. And second is that how we arrange the NMT in a intersection or a nodal areas, station area planning. So some limitations are there, and also in terms of the IRC codes, road congress codes, the space standards in the particularly the the junctions and other areas also there are some gaps. But overarching some policy measures are there. Contextually, we are trying to apply. Maybe Government of India will take up eventually.
Absolutely. From Institute of Urban Transport, we are really sensitive to this issue. And in fact, on Friday, we are organizing a webinar on non-motorized vehicle infrastructure. That becomes very critical. And it's important, cities should go for comprehensive mobility plan. No, it's not that you are only planning for roads, widening of roads, or constructing more and more flyovers, which will totally defeat the purpose of ensuring ease of walking. I hope you must have seen Anand Vihar, where my office is located, which is a project of multimodal integration. But what about the pedestrian infrastructure? The pedestrian infrastructure has been totally encouraged by the vendors, and I don't know how MCD allotted that space for allowing the informal activities. But thanks to the Honorable Court, now the encroachers have been removed, but again, you also need to provide space for informal activities. So yes, around 21, 25 cities, they have prepared comprehensive mobility plan, but at the same time, the agencies like municipal corporation as well as the development authorities, how they prioritize, towards the road, toward the traffic and transportation infrastructure, where this, walking, the pedestrian infrastructure, they have to prioritize, and also they need to ensure appropriate budgetary allocation. That becomes very much important. Subrata, you would like?
I think you have heard most of them. I would like to say that I live in a campus which is 2,100 acres, and I can compare it to a township. And I have seen similar such campuses also where non-motorized transportation should have been the norm. The problem is, with an aspirational society that we are, people do not want to even do carpool. So everybody wants to, arrive in their own individual vehicles. However, the entire gang of our students, which is not a small number, 17,000 touching, they use the Ola bikes, they use cycles. The entire 2,100 acres is traversed by them exclusively in bicycles. So that's an implementation. We do not allow any motorized vehicle with the students community, which is the largest community in our campus. I've also done planning in Sale Township in Asansol, where we found that they have a campaign which says that a particular day of the week, they have posters saying that burn fat, not fuel. So they made it mandatory that on that day, everybody, including the CEO or whatever, MD, they would come in their bicycles. So I think the awareness is something which also is highly lacking. Otherwise, this is quite a doable thing. I also agree with Srini that the infrastructure, if we really want to encourage walking or encourage use of bicycle tracks and the things, we really do not have the adequate infrastructure. There are potholes, there are unevenness and those items. But first, the awareness, if we really look for it, these are possible. And I've given you two examples. The third, you asked about blue-green infrastructure or water bodies. Now, we at the Center of Excellence in Urban Planning and Design in IIT Kharagpur, we are involved in several such, blue-green infrastructure projects, including pocket parks, because sometimes there aren't long stretches that are available, but pocket parks we are developing. We have also done entire ghat conservation work for a port trust, Calcutta Port Trust, which is Shyama Prasad Mukherjee Port Trust. Now we've done that, and that can act as one model for other stretches. We also did a conservation of a city called Kuch Bihar, which is a very famous city and which has got huge dighis. They call dighis. These are very big lakes, and one is of religious importance also, Shagor Dighi and Boiragi Dighi. We did the entire action area plan for both of them, and if you're interested, we can actually share some stuff on that. Thank you.
So any other question? This could be the last one.
I would like to ask.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I have the mic here. Is it okay for me to ask? Yeah. I think the cities need to plan for a 24/7 lifestyle. Our transportation system, airports, trains run, but the metro stops by 10:30 in Delhi. And
Is it a question or a comment?
Yes, I think.
The comments perhaps you can discuss with experts over the cup of tea.
How about having 24/7 city lifestyle? With transportation of metro being 24 hours.
It's a good question, and I wish it happens. But again, there is a scale of economies. Probably Mumbai is a 24/7 city, where locals run, I think, almost only 2 hours its rest is there. So when probably need is there or it's viable economically to run metro 24/7, it will happen in. So certain things we need to leave it to the market forces also. That's
Okay. Last question, please.
Sir, I'm alumni of both IIT Kharagpur and IIT Roorkee, so both the professors, and I'm in academics back as well. So when we discuss with the professionals who are in practice, they keep on telling us that these are the ideal solutions, and practice it is totally different. So what is the major roadblock apart from the, let's say, maybe in implementation, the actual which we teach and which we practice? Is it only the politics or something else also?
Well, Paul Appleby had observed in this connection that we bureaucrats are auxiliary to the politicians and technical experts are auxiliary to the bureaucrats. So when the technical solutions come, the bureaucrats examine from their point of view, and ultimate decision is of course of the Council of Ministers. If they don't, I will narrate the case of Mumbai DP, which gave a new phrase to the Marathi language. In 1987, the Mumbai Municipal Corporation started a new DP. In 89, the draft DCR, Development Control Rules, were published. The then Shiv Sena body had put 1400 reservations on different plots for public use. Now it is just not possible. At that time, the concept of transfer of development rights was not there. Monetary compensation had to be paid. Hardly less than 5% DP could be implemented in 10 years or 20 years till the TDR came. So these 1400 were not practical, and it was alleged that political opponents' lands were used for putting reservation. When it went to the government removed about half those reservations. But D.T. Joseph, who was then Secretary Urban Development, took care that while removing each reservation, he passed a speaking order. Because all these things, particularly considering Mumbai prices, they are going to land up in courts. So these reservations were removed. Then it created a hot debate in the assembly. The opposition alleged that for each deletion of reservation, lot of money has exchanged hands. The government, of course, defended that speaking orders have been written in every case. So Mr. Isaac Jamkhanawala was Urban Development Minister. He was not very proficient in Marathi. So in Marathi, the plot, the word is bhukhand. With all Sanskritized language, bhukhand will plot. So his mother tongue was Urdu. So bhukhand was going on. He said, "Ye kya chala hai aapne bhukhand, shrikhand." And opposition immediately got the clue कि भूखंड का श्रीखंड खाकर ruling party हमको question भी नहीं करने दे रहे. So Marathi got a new phrase, bhukhandache shrikhand, which means when any prime plot of land, FSI is increased, decreased or reservation removed, The allegation is rulers have eaten the Srikhand out of the Bhukand. So this political process will be the ultimate in democracy.
No,
Thank-
but what is the second roadblock apart from the politics?
Well, I think individuals' perceptions differ. Means it is like secretary disagreeing with joint secretary in the note he puts up.
Can I have a
Yeah,
stint? My ex-student's question, Manoj, right? Manoj, thanks that you brought it up. Is the microphone working? Okay. Now, you have asked a question, and I'll give you an analogy. You know a demand-supply curve. You know that the y-axis is the price, and x-axis is the quantity, right? Assume that y-axis is the IAS, and x-axis is the urban planner, and somebody just said that politicians or whatever you have, but you also have theoretically a point of equilibrium where the supply and demand meet. Now that's theoretical. What we are, however, able to do a little, and that is, you see, in the concept that has been conceived of the urban centers of excellence of urban planning, we are trying to narrow this gap through the capacity building programs which are mandated upon us, and we have trained till now close to 450 urban planners. Now, I would say this is a fantastic thing that the y-axis conceived, the x-axis delivered, and there is a point of equilibrium where we are bringing in a lot of urban planners and they are getting upgraded. So and we are learning from them because they are bringing their problems to us. So we are doing a little bit of co-working. It's not a one-way communication, but it's a little bit of co-working. So I think I wanted to react to that.
Thank you. Now it is the time for tea break or coffee break. So we close now. Thank you for all the panelists.
Thank you so much to all the esteemed panelists for such wonderful insights on the session. I'd now like to request Mr. Rajiv Agrawal to please be on the stage and present the momentum to the chair of the session, who is Dr. Jairaj Pathak. Thank you so much, Mr. Rajiv. Now I'd like to request Dr. Jairaj Pathak to please present the mementos to all other esteemed panelists.